Good morning and welcome to Gaming with ADHD. It is Monday and I have been wanting to do a review of some Hellboy miniatures, but I have one left to do for the core box set. And so I decided let's go live on Miniature Monday and paint some miniatures. So, we're going to be doing the Tentacle Beast thing from the core box set, and it's like half done. You'll see, it's not the greatest, but it's gaming with ADHD paint job. So, take it for what it will. But before we get started, if you do, live chat is open for subscribers, so feel free to jump in and make fun of me or whatever it is you want to do. And I've also, we'll just kind of go from there, and I'll just be here until I decide I'm done. So with that said, let's switch over to that camera. I really need to come up with better layouts for my stuff. So, and let's fix the lighting a little bit. There we go. That'll work. Nope, that doesn't help. All right. So, I'm just gonna paint. I have no idea how to get like any music or anything on in the background that wouldn't get me copyright struck, and so we'll go from there. So this is what I am working on. I decided I wanted a purple tentacle beast. I'm contrasting it with some so far I'm using Reaper Twilight Purple. I'm not sure if they make this anymore. I think they got rid of their HD paint line. So sorry, but it's what I'm using. So Twilight Purple. The pink is the Reaper Rosy Skin. I'm going to go back and do some dry brush with some Vallejo Blue Violet, kind of, pick out some highlights on the top. Of course, I am lazy, so, well, not necessarily lazy. I'm not the greatest painter. So I will hit it with a wash, and I've got Army Painter Purple somewhere. Nope, I've literally found every other color. Where is purple? Of course, it is literally the last one I check. I mean, I realize, yes, when you find it, the last one, then you stop looking. But yeah, so Reaper inks. I really like Reaper's inks. Lately, I've been kind of frustrated in general with Reapers, or not Reaper, Army Painter. I like their washes. I am not a big fan of a lot of the paint. For some reason, they just the quality is inconsistent. Reaper, I have rarely had any issues with the color and the consistency of the paint, and so I prefer using that. The problem is, at least here in Arizona, I'm not sure if anybody carries it. I've looked. They might have like some of the paint sets, but like to just go in and buy a bottle of, whatever color just doesn't happen. So my original plan was just kind of have like purple suckers at the same time. But I decided, actually, that reminds me, I need to get that color out. I think I'll use Cactus Flower. Yeah, I don't really have a... So my paint collection's kind of weird. I don't have a very consistent paint set. Like, it's not all one brand. I have Reaper, I have Vallejo, I have Army Painter. I don't have Games Workshop. I think their paints are a little overpriced, and I hate their paint pots. I have always hated their paint pots. You know, it gets into the it doesn't close properly. It, you know, you pay, you know, more for less paint. I don't like it. So I don't even look at them as a reason to get it. I've got the new Army Painter speed paints instead of getting Games Workshop's contrast paints. So yeah, I'm a budget friendly hobbyist. So unless you can show me that your quality is there and that it's that much better than the budget options, I'm going to go with the budget options. But even then, like Reaper, I don't think is necessarily a budget option, but I pay less than Games Workshop paints. And you get bigger bottles of paint. So that's what I go with. I end up with a lot of Vallejo because I can get that at Hobby Lobby when I go in every couple of weeks. I don't have to, but I got a wife. It happens. So but the problem with Vallejo at Hobby Lobby is that you get Army colors. They don't really carry gamer colors. So good purples and stuff like that are a bit hard to come by at Hobby Lobby. That, and they carry, like, Vallejo has like 1,000 different colors, and Hobby Lobby will carry like 12. So it's a little frustrating. Anyway, so yeah, so my original theory was to kind of have like purple suckers in the interiors, and then I decided after I went to bed that I actually should contrast the suckers even more. So that's why I'm going to go with that desert flower or cactus flower. And so but I'm just going to hit the outside of the rings. So I'm going to go through and fill everything else out with rosy skin. And then I'll go back and I'll clean everything up with Flesh Wash. Anyhow, so let's see here. So I am not the greatest of painters. Definitely one where I make a lot more messes. And then go back and do a lot more cleanup. So rarely do I get it right the first time. But I'm also not painting. I'm not painting for display. I'm not painting for, awards. I'm just painting so I don't have gray plastic. Make things a little more interesting. But you don't even have to do full paint on everything. Like, I got this from Beasts of War, and they probably weren't even the first ones to come up with it. But they called it, what did they call it? I literally can't remember now. But they basically, it's a style that I'll use for board games. Basically, you base coat it black, then you do a zenithal highlight. For those of you who don't know what a zenithal highlight is, it's where you don't want to get the undersides of whatever it is you're spraying. So you just kind of do it high and at an angle. So then it just picks up the high points, which, I mean, is already common. Lots of people do that. They'll call it pre-shading or whatever. I don't. But then the last step, step number 3 is you hit it with a wash. And then your final step is that you hit it with a wash, and then your final step is that you paint the base black. So you'll actually notice on a lot of my miniatures, on the shorts that I've been doing, the bases are just black. I'm not putting sand or gravel or grass or anything like that. I have all of the stuff, but it ends up just anyways, with the paint method, basically you just paint the base black and clean up. Basically, you're cleaning everything up because you've got spray and wash and whatnot. And so you do a couple of different so black, zenithal, white, wash, paint the base black, and that's all you got to do. I mean, you can seal it up, maybe you'll want to add in a couple little details, whatever, but for all intents and purposes, that's all you're doing. So like my Zombicide Black Plague, that's all I did. And I used like a brown wash and a black wash. It's like brown wash for the heroes, black wash for the zombies. And there you go. And basically it's just to make the miniatures pop so that you can actually see the details, because from tabletop standard, gray plastic is gray plastic. It all kind of blends together. So you can do very, very simple paint jobs like that. And a lot of times my paint jobs are just kind of somewhere in the middle. I keep saying it on my channel, I've got ADHD. So the more steps that you add in for me to do, the less likely I am to do it. Even this is a lot more than I would normally do. That and this miniature is kind of a pain. He is frustrating at the moment. So But I also realized I need a brown because there's some planking on here. Do I want oiled leather or flat? I think I'm going to go with. I think I'm going to just go with oiled leather, and then I will hit it with a wash like I do everything else. And I will just use, or I will do it that way. All right. So, I just realized here are some more suckers that I missed. So that is one real frustrating thing about this figure, is that there are lots of overhangs and undercuts, and I mean, however you want to call / label it, and just finding everything that you're supposed to paint is kind of a pain. Oh, just realized I don't even have the miniature on the screen. Anyways, but this is another thing that I like about Mantic. Even just their board game miniatures, it's PVC plastic, so it's a little soft, but even still, they're just good figures. I mean, I realize they get some grief because they started out as a budget alternative to Games Workshop models, but I like them. I think Games Workshop can be a bit overproduced. All right, I think that'll work for that. Now to see if I can pull off my idea. I'm not sure I have enough paint here. Hey, Mundo. I am painting Hellboy. That's what's up. How are you, my friend? Oh, that is going to make a mess. I am not going to get paint out normally. See. All right, that should be more than enough paint for this stage of the project. That is perfectly fine. I just figured I am going to sit here painting, and so might as well put on a live stream and show everybody how horrible I am at this part of the hobby. So, basically, I'm painting the Hellboy tentacle beast thing. I forgot to look at the card to see what it actually is. This is the last figure that I have in the set, and so that will, then I can do a review of the game and not have a partially painted set. So is my theory. Anyways, so that's really all I'm looking at for the suckers. I'll hit the whole thing with a wash here shortly. Sure, man. You know you are welcome in here at any time. I think I should start doing these regularly. Just, painting whatever, because technically Mondays are my day off. At least during the day. So, anyways, I kind of like that. I like how it contrasts. I mean, it is based off the comic book, so to have it a little bit more cartoony is fine. It's kind of funny. I found that I've been using a larger brush lately instead of like a fine detail brush, and just finding that it's a little easier to control, actually. Now, one thing when painting board game miniatures, most board gamers aren't going to paint their miniatures. Cut yourself a lot of slack. I remember the name. Beast of War called it cell shaded paint jobs. And I liked them. So I do it from time to time. Hellboy, I ended up painting fully, partly because so from time to time I help out Mantic. I've mentioned that in other streams. It's one reason I was pushing the Terrain Crate Kickstarter, which, oh, by the way, Terrain Crate Kickstarter has about 24 hours left. So if you want some cool sci-fi terrain, you should go check that out. Now that I think about it, let me put that in the description. All right, that is in the description now. Yeah, Terrain Crate 3. It's looking really good. They're almost to $100,000. So that's awesome. I want to do a separate video on that, but yeah, they're coming up on some more stretch goals to unlock. I mean, basically, they just keep adding stuff. Not as many new pieces, but I mean, you don't need new pieces. You just need more pieces, in my opinion. So that's kind of cool. Anyways, that is going on. So yes. But yeah, so back to board games and cell shading. I like it. It's very easy to I mean, honestly, that didn't. Haha. Take that little bit too much water left on the brush. Like honestly, anybody can do cell shading. You don't have to be a miniature painter in order to do that. So actually, I just realized something else I need to do real quick. But yeah, anybody can do cell shading, and I totally recommend it, to be honest with you. Just because of the fact that you can see your miniatures. Sorry, just realized I really didn't share out on socials that I was going live. So it's all part of the streaming game. I am nothing if not professional. But yeah, it is what it is. Trying to think of holding a conversation with yourself is not the easiest thing to do. All right, there we go. Now that I've done all the proper streamer things, but yeah, so there's some good stuff you can do. My mouse has a tendency to double click. All right. Oh, there I am. Which I keep getting the miniature out of screen. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, so I've got all these suckers. I mean, come on, it's a tentacle beast. They did a fantastic job. But dear Lord, so many suckers on this thing. So many little suckers, big suckers. I think I'm gonna have to skip some of them in places that you can't see anyways. Or I'm going to get sloppy on some of them that you can see. So yeah, for a company that prides itself on miniatures, they did not make this thing easy to paint. But they made it look good. I will give them that. Let's see here. So I currently have. So Black Friday was okay. Black Friday was, let's just say, very good to me. I have about a dozen games that have been added to the collection. And by collection, I mean pile. I made a joke a long time that I'm a pile gamer. I buy games and I put them in a pile. Um, I like games. I like playing games. I like playing different games. But sometimes, like, the only word I have to describe it is anxiety. And I shouldn't have, like, I don't really have anxiety. I'm pretty calm. Go into whatever situation. No big deal. But then when it comes to putting a game on the table or calling friends to come over, like, I'll make grand plans in my head and then I won't do them. So the worst part is I buy lots of games, which is why you've seen lots of unboxings on my channel. Oh, and I also buy budget games on like clearance or um I don't usually buy used, um but sometimes if it's something that I really want. Like we had a local store. I want to say it was like a demo copy or something. And they straight up said, "Hey, this is missing pieces." I'm like, okay. And I wasn't sure if the game was going to be unplayable or what, but it was missing pieces. And so they were selling it for 75% off, which in this case, they already discount stuff anyways. So it meant $10. So I'm like, I really want this game anyways. I will spend the $10 and I will contact the company and I will see if they will send me replacement pieces. And they will. So I'm waiting on those to arrive. But yeah, so I got it for like $10. And then Japanime Games did their Christmas sale and have a bunch of stuff half off. And they publish the Robotech games. So they had a bunch of Robotech stuff all at half off. And even stuff that I've heard is not great. Honestly, I don't care. So that's coming in. Just waiting for that to ship. But I did get an email saying that that's going to happen soon. And then, but yeah, so then there were, for Black Friday, there were a bunch of other things that were, here's this game for half off. So it's a $60 game already discounted, and then half off. So I got it for like $20, and it's from reputable companies. One was from Stonemaier Games. I forget who. We've got Stonemaier Games. We've got was that Pegasus Spiel. I've just got stuff. So I can justify it because it's for the channel, and I'll do more content for the channel. Maybe. But but yeah, so that'll be good. Usually I like, I've been trying to get videos recorded early because like board game content, it's not like I'm on a time schedule or anything. So I don't have to have it out on a specific day. Most of the stuff that I have, like, because I'm not big enough that people send me stuff yet. If I do, I always kind of put that at priority. Like with Tom Mason and his Frog Nights, and what else? Oh, the gnomes for Tom Mason. I've had a couple other people send me stuff, but I really need to get those reviewed. But like there wasn't a time frame on it, just a hey, whenever you get to it. And the problem with ADHD is time is broken down to now. Like I have to do something now and not now. And if it's not now, it is really easy to not do it. Let me do something real quick. Speaking of ADHD, HD. Oh, come on. All right. Anyways, just sent out a message that I think will end up with a friend coming in to make fun of me. Or ask me why I'm not painting Battletech. So yeah. If you're watching this hoping for like advanced techniques, I am not your guy. Not that I have a problem with it, just that I am not. All right. Hopefully that doesn't kick up a lot of noise. But I am sweating over here. And it is not cool out. Maybe it's because of all the lights I'm in front of. Oh, jeez. And now the chickens are going off. All right. I don't like doing this, but excuse me for 1 second, folks. I just want to make sure that the chickens are okay. They're not being attacked by hawks. Pepper, you okay? You okay, sweetie? Just making sure. All right. Sorry about that, folks. Yes. We have chickens. And my wife loves them very much. They are funny. All right. So like I said, am a bit of a sloppy painter. So I just, get the paint on more or less how I want it. And then I go and I clean up any sloppy parts. So like some of this down here, a lot of this line right here. Basically, just if I was trying to be meticulous, I think I would drive myself nuts. And so I just, get it on there and then come back and clean it. This is also going to be a little bit more, also is a bit more sloppy because of the fact that there are no smooth surfaces on this. Like everything has these like little knobby textures on it. So but I also found that I missed some of the gray primer when I put the purple layer on. So I can also go back and get that. Sometimes I swear the chickens want to get you a noise complaint. I don't know if you guys heard that, but yeah, so chickens, I gotta say, they are not as dumb as you think they are. Don't get me wrong. They're not the brightest of animals. But they're not really dumb. I found suckers that I missed. Do I go back? I'm going to go back and get them. I also don't use a wet palette. I am like me sitting somewhere and painting for 8 hours doesn't happen. So I might paint for a couple hours, and maybe a couple hours is a long time. Let's see. But other than that, just getting ready for Christmas. By getting ready for Christmas, I mean supporting my wife as she gets us ready for Christmas. As she makes all of the noise in the background. It's okay. My recording area is in the living room, which is attached to the kitchen. So, unfortunately, life still happens. Can't be mad at her for that. Not that I ever would be. Yes, she is listening to everything I say. Ugh, seriously, I like this model, but this is a pain. Oh, welcome back, Mundo. I like. I've generally avoided Games Workshop products. I think they're generally overpriced. I don't think it's very different for the holders as far as being overpriced. I'm just a little too lazy to look for them. There are two different sizes. So this one is for just like your regular models, but it holds pretty well. What I usually end up doing, like, so we'll use this as an example. I'll put the miniature on, and then I'll also kind of hold the base a little bit, because while they are contoured to actually hold the model, sometimes it's still going to pop out with just a little bit of pressure. So they're not perfect, but I don't think a perfect solution exists. And so I do think they work out. I do think they work out very well. They then have the larger one for your large base models. And then as you can see, typically they've got 3 different levels to work on. I generally like going as low as possible, just so that it puts it has a little bit more tension from the spring. But I mean, they work fine. It's a lot easier for holding. I don't have to glue it to anything or blue tack it or any of the other methods that people use. And then it holds the model well enough. So that's what I do. All right. I think next I'm going to do the planking, then the dry brush, and then we'll play with washes, and we'll see how badly I can screw it up. So there we go. But I mean, is what it is. Anyways. And unknown is calling me, so unknown can go to voicemail. Because come on, who answers the phone these days? Watch, it's a Nigerian prince calling to give me $10 million if I just share my bank account info with him. And I missed out because I sent it to voicemail. Come on, Nigerian prince. Maybe if you just texted me first, we wouldn't have a problem. Yeah, I think that brown looks great. I'll hit it with a wash to get the grain out. So I've been on a kick lately, watching really old movies. And by really old, I mean like 30s and 40s. Mostly around Christmas. But like the other day we watched what was it? It happened on Fifth Avenue. And a bunch of actors I'd never heard of. But it was a solid little Christmas movie. Came out in 1947, I think. That's not a bad idea, Mundo. I was thinking about just doing like just a wash to get the plank lines, like the wood grain. But see, cleanup. Maybe I should have done this before I went back with the purple. Gosh, this is ridiculous. Yeah, I think the way that this is... Yeah, I think you're right. And maybe I'll do it on some of like the outer planks. But like all of these that are underneath the tentacles, I think I'll have to just let those get the wash instead of the highlighting, but they're kind of buried anyways, so it's not really like they're going to be seen all that well. I think you're right on some of the upper ones. You might have missed it earlier, Mundo, but I was telling the internet that I'm very much a, less steps for, or the fewest steps as possible when painting. Because the more steps, then the more likely I am to get distracted and then just stop. And then it doesn't work. As far as washes, so I've got flesh wash and I've got strong tone. Strong tone's kind of like a dark, well, it's interesting. So that like the Army Painter flesh wash is kind of like a reddish brown, but then they've got strong tone and light tone, which are lighter browns. And then they've got dark tone, which is kind of a black. So those are basically my go-tos, but they've also got washes in all the colors. They've got red and blue and purple and green and whatnot. And so when I was actually, I forgot to mention earlier when I was talking about cell shading, or the cell shading for board game miniatures, like having like you can get the same effect and have just different wash colors just to kind of separate things a little bit. Um, and so I have one game that I did that with for the miniatures. It's The Others, Seven Sins. And so each sin monster I painted in a different color, or I washed with a different color, but all of them just got that cell shade technique on it. And just the different colors worked really well just to keep it simple and quick, as it were. Oh, hey, let's go ahead and block that user. Oh, I thought I had subscriber only chat on. Let's do that. A pale green flesh color? Are you talking about for the wood, or am I missing something? Ah, okay. I'm not entirely sure what. I mean, I kind of I understand what you're saying, but I'm not seeing it in my head. So I'm probably going to use. Well, I mean, I've got necrotic flesh. You see if that's. There we go. So necrotic flesh, or where is it? That brain matter beige. Brain matter beige is more of a white. Necrotic flesh is more of a green. But I don't think I want it to look moldy. Yes, I realize we've got kind of this sea creature-y thing coming out, but I think, but like at least like for the core game for Hellboy, it looks more, or it's like the first mission is taking place in like an old mansion, or no, the first one takes place in the sewers, but then there's like an old mansion and whatnot. So to me, these are more like the floorboards of the old mansion. And so I think I might just do the brain matter beige. But I appreciate the tips and suggestions. Oh my gosh, this is driving me insane. With all these overhangs and such. I'm just gonna paint the top of the base brown. Then I'll do the edge of the base black. But yeah, see, folks, you too can adequately paint miniatures. You don't have to be a pro, doesn't have to be perfect. Just paint. There's a spot. I can't even see how to get to it. I didn't have hat hair. I'd take it off and put my magnifiers on. Gotta love getting old. But yeah, then I'll come in and I'll just hit with that dark wash to like really fill that in. I need to practice some more with my speed paints. I've only used them once. I was pretty happy with how it came out. All right, my problem is I actually have prescription glasses as well, and I have one eye nearsighted or farsighted and one eye nearsighted, and so I can't just get magnifier glasses and work it. I have one of these jobbers, and that works okay. It hurts my head, so I don't know if I need to come up with something else or what, but oh well. Let's see. All right, I need to fill in some more purple. Do a little bit of cleanup. Found some cleanup I forgot. That's another frustrating thing about this model is just there's so many twists and turns and overhangs and underhangs that you'll go through and you think that you've cleaned it up, and then you go back to clean up and you find all the stuff that you didn't clean up the first time. So that's fun. Yes, Mundo, I am going to dry brush the rough parts of the scale. I actually mentioned that, I think, towards the beginning of the stream. I have this blue violet, which is light enough for me. So that should work fine. That was actually what I was going to do next. Actually, I should probably do... All right, I will take Mundo's advice. I'm going to take Mundo's advice and use the necrotic flesh for some edge highlights on the planking. Because I trust Mundo. He is a wise individual. So I want to show this. This is why I have issues with... Maybe I can... With Army Painter. It looks more like a gel. Maybe that doesn't come through very well, but it looks more like a gel, and it's really frustrating trying to work with it. But it also really only happens with like their greens, and I don't know why. It's like all the greens seem to do that. I would like the chat to recognize that Mundo has added a whole lot of steps. If I quit, Mundo, I'm blaming you. No, I know it's thick paint, and I always add a little bit of water. Usually just like to the brush, and then just thin out a little bit of it at a time. I didn't need that thick. Line there. Oh well. I've actually seen some people doing Hellboy miniatures, like very cartoon, very cell shaded like. So I think some of these thicker lines will be okay, just to kind of give it some definition. That's like all water. Anyways, but yeah, so that was sloppy. That's what cleanup is for. That's too far inside. think I'm going to call that good. All right, let's do a little cleanup. So this is the tentacle beast thing. I forget exactly what the name of the model is. But it is from Hellboy, the board game. This is one of two boss monsters they give you in the core set. I haven't. This was the last one that I had unpainted. Or let me rephrase that. I had it started. I had the purple and the base coat on, and that was it. And for my shorts for the last week, I've been doing the miniatures from the Hellboy core box set. So I figured tomorrow I will do a review of Hellboy, the board game. It's fantastic. I really, really like Hellboy, the board game. I don't play it enough because not everybody wants to play a dungeon crawl, but it's a solid game. I really like it. So I didn't want to do a review of Hellboy, the board game with mostly painted miniatures. And I didn't really have a topic for Miniature Monday. So I just figured I would go live and paint the model and see if anybody showed up to make fun of me. And, go from there. I've been doing this for an hour and a half. That's kind of nuts. Let's see. But I think I will just keep going. Until this guy is... Okay. Whew! I am feeling that I need like a very short break to go get a cup of water, and then I will be back. I'm not going to stop the stream. It may be very boring. All right. So, give that another minute. Ooh, this sounds a little rough. So let's make sure we shake up here so people know what's actually happening. Well, yeah, so Hellboy the board game is awesome. I have the regular core set, and I also have the Kickstarter edition. The downside is I don't have any of the miniatures ready. I need more Hellboy miniatures to paint, so I can keep the stream going. Because it's Monday, I got nothing better to do. I'd just be sitting on my iPad playing stupid mobile games instead of getting crap done. Ooh, that is a very heavy dry brush. I think it'll come out in the wash. Ha! Oh, I kill myself. Keep telling my kids it hurts to be this funny as a dad. Sometimes they don't believe me. They don't have their own kids yet. They'll learn. Anyhow, let's see, what else do I have going on? Oh, I have a book review that I am working on. I'm super excited for it. Sneak preview. The keywords, and I'm about halfway through, are fear, tension, and anticipation. I don't like scary stories. I don't go for scary stories. This isn't supposed to be a scary story, I don't think. At least not in me talking with the author. And it's not a small author either. You know, the way I've been describing it is not Stephen King, but he's been writing for 40 years and he has an extensive back catalog. So he's got some experience under his belt. And he generally sells pretty well to his target audience. So I think fans of his previous work will really enjoy this. But anyways, I keep waiting for people to die. Which, you know, and like, because that was established kind of early on. It was kind of a shock. I wasn't ready for it. And so now I go into a chapter and I'm like, okay, who's gonna die in this one? And who's gonna die in this one? And he hasn't really done it yet. But I keep waiting for it. I mean, like there's like little interstitial chapters that he'll kill off like 3 or 4 no-name characters in, you know. So like, I mean, you feel bad because, you know, characters died. but they aren't integral to the story, so it's not like he's like introducing you to a main character and then immediately killing them off. So there's that. But he's needless to say, I think it's off to a great start. And the book comes out in January. So I'm thinking about having my review ready. Like, well, he said I could post it at any time. So I don't want to post it too early because people won't really be looking for it. But I don't want to post it like day of. Like, so I'll probably do it like very end of the year kind of a deal. I also have to finish it. I mean, I will finish it, which is crazy because I have not read a book in a long time. And by read a book, I mean like actual read text. I do a lot of audiobooks because squirrels. Easy to do a couple of things at a time. I just realized I need an actual palette. Hobby Lobby, 40% off art supplies. All right. So, clean palette. Actually, I'm going to start with the strong tone because of the stupid wood being underneath everything. All right, I'm going to try. I have a habit of thinning everything. I'm going to try not doing that with this. All right. I can already tell that that's helping a lot. There we go. That's easier. Yeah, Mundo, the little bit of wash I've done already, it already looks better. washing hides a multitude of problems. And I'm not a great painter, so lots of problems to hide. Thank you, Mundo. I appreciate that. Yeah, once I get these washes done, I'll actually open up the Kickstarter edition, show off some of the other models, which I think everything is available. Like, I don't think it's full of Kickstarter exclusives. You just need to get some additional sets to get all of it. But I was saying earlier, again, I get distracted. The Because I help out Mantic and I do, you know, demos from time to time, stuff like that. Um, I I I have the core game so that way I can just take it and, hey people, this is what you're going to get from, the core box set, and not show off, oh look, I have this special one that you can't get anymore. So that's what my review is going to be based off of, because the Kickstarter edition is more about, here's extra stuff, World War II Germans, werewolves. I don't know. We'll look at it here in a minute. All right. So that's the wood and a semi truck driving outside. I don't know if you can hear that. All right, you know what? I'm going to make this quote unquote a little sloppier. All right, that's good. And then the last one is the purple wash. And oh, I need to find where's black. Black. Yeah, hit the rim of the base with some black wash, or not black wash, black paint. And I will officially call this guy done. Probably didn't need that much purple, but oh well. Yep, I already like how that's looking. All right, I think a little bit heavier on here. I think that'll do it. All right, let that dry for a little bit. Let's pull out some of the other miniatures that we've got. Some point I'm going to have to actually organize my paints again. I love my paint rack. I built it. Its position is not the most stable, but whatever. Let's see here. All right, so let's zoom this out. Oof. My infamously small work table, which sometime next year I might actually get to upgrade. Very excited. Been building up the plans. Oh, by the way, here's the box for the Kickstarter edition. No. So it's massive. There's a lot of stuff. I think I get even extra terrain, but you get, let's set that to the side. All right, so I've already shown off Abe Sapien on the shorts. So you get him, you get Johann Kraus, Liz Sherman, and Hellboy. Those all come in the base set, same deal, so for the Kickstarter edition. Then you also get the Visitor. I don't know who that is, but whatever. You get Roger, Lobster Johnson, sure. Pancakes Hellboy, Kate Corrigan, Sidney Leach, Bud Waller, Horned Hellboy, Scott Clark, and Trevor Bruttenholm. So you have so many more character options, which is awesome. They also give Hellboy art, which, I mean, that's cool. Oh, you get a black and white one, and you get a colorized one. You can color it on your own. I'm not going to do that. Yeah, this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 playable characters out of the Kickstarter edition. So there's that. Some padding. Play stuff. All right, so here we go. Let's zoom this out. All right, let's take. Hey, Tanner. So much dog hair. All right. Well, this is all frogmen. I've already shown those off, so I'm actually going to leave this one closed. It's the same 4 frogmen, but you get 5 instead of 3 of each. So I'll have to paint more, but then you get accessories, you get more frog spawn tokens, you get fire tokens. Like, it's cool. Showcase and talk about how I built what? The hobby or the paint rack? Mundo? Sorry, just saw that. If you're talking about the paint rack, I actually have a video. I'll find it and I'll send you the link later. Yeah, there is a video on the channel for the paint rack. All right, that's just packing foam. All right, so let's take a look at this. All right, so we've got, I believe this is the Conqueror worm. Look at the size of that thing. We got that guy. Oh, there we go. Got another frog demon. Got cybernetically enhanced gorilla thing. That looks like it hurts. Let's focus this. Yeah, cyber gorilla thing. Got another tentacle beast. I'm gonna guess a basilisk because it's too long to be an alligator, and there's no hind legs. But there's that. Just realize there's this guy down here. Witch in a wooden cup, I think. I don't know. I am not that familiar with Hellboy lore. So there's that. Anyways, so you get those. There's a bunch of dog hair in here because I got it from my friend at Mantic. And I opened it at his house. And he used to have a dog that was adorable and super friendly, golden retriever. And it shed everywhere. So I got dog hair in the box. All right, so in the next tray, we've got harpies. Bat swarms. I'm just going to call them witches, for lack of a better way to describe them. Werewolves. Giant falcon birds. And wolves. So get like 5 of each of those. That like this was a great deal. I was happy to get this. All right. So these are more the heroes, more like, you know, spider head guy. Medusa-like character. Guy with a jetpack. I mean, short answer, there is a ton. When I do the review of the game, you'll understand. But these are like player markers. They only gave enough for the main 4. They didn't do all of the heroes. That's a little frustrating, but there's a limit to what you can do sometimes. All right, so these are all of the World War II Germans. So, got kind of a lieutenant. Guy with an MG42. Rifleman. Guy with a submachine gun. And just a little grunt with a knife. So Yeah, needless to say, there's a ton of stuff in this. And all I've painted so far is effectively the core box, not even the Kickstarter box. So like I said, there is a ton of stuff out there. I think there's that all of it is, I think almost all of it is available. I don't think they did much of it Kickstarter exclusive. They just put it into other sets. One quote unquote problem I have with Hellboy, the board game, is it is a little expensive, in my opinion, but they did really, really good work. And so I can't really fault them for that. Not that I ever would, but it is what it is. So, all right, let's get this out of the way and take a final look at our tentacle monster, which, after all that, should be dry now. So there, impromptu unboxing of Hellboy the board game. All right, so here is our tentacle monster after washes and, clean up. It's not fancy, but it'll work. Last thing I do need to do, which I did put that paint away. Here we go. Just need a couple of dots. Oh no, that's dark gray, not black. Oh, pro tip. Actually, it's probably not a pro tip. It is probably like a rank amateur tip at best. When you have to paint something black, instead of painting it black, get Vallejo's dark gray. Actually, if I can just find a black that'll work. Actually, let me put these right next to each other. And they'll end up blending, but oh well, for what I'm doing, it'll work. Actually, let me focus in. All right, so if you can see here, so we've got dark gray on the left and black on the right. And so you can tell that it's different. I mean, yes, my lighting is horrible, so I do apologize for that. But they're also very, very close. And so what I've actually been doing lately, instead of, if something needs to be black, instead of painting it black, I use that Vallejo dark gray and then hit it with an Army Painter dark wash, which is basically black. And then you still get the shadow of the panel lines. I have a rough example of it. It's not done yet, but this is going to be for Wolf's Dragoon's Black Widow Company. So I still need to do the wash on it. But if you look, I mean, it basically looks black. So a lot easier to get that detail and or not lose the detail, because black has a tendency to just kind of overwhelm and just like you don't see any of the shadows, you don't see any of the shading when you're using when you're using black. So lately, if I need something black, that's what I've been doing, and I think it actually works out really well. So all I am doing here, this is the last step, last thing I need to do on this. So I'm just going to paint, well, besides sealing it, of course. I'm not a heathen. Just put a black ring of paint around the edge. Which cleans up any slop that got over the edge. And honestly, really helps the miniature. Like I didn't think it was that important. But then when I started doing cell shading for board game miniatures, I realized just giving the base just a coat of black, it's stupid easy, it's stupid simple. You're not having to base it and put grass and rock and all that kind of stuff. But if you just make it black, the miniature just pops right off the base and it looks great. So that's the Tentacle Beast. Oh, sorry, Trey. No, so I have autofocus turned off on my camera because I'm usually at kind of a fixed point. So I'll just focus it manually when I need to. So, thanks for saying. Basically, I like whenever I use autofocus, it's constantly focusing. As I take stuff in and out of boxes and whatnot. And so, I just take autofocus off in most cases. But that is the Hellboy Tentacle Beast. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Make sure you like the video. Sorry, I had that. Do what you want. All right, so that guy is basically done, but I'm not sure I'm done painting. Should I get something else out? I'll leave it up to the chat. Or have I gone on too long as it is? All right, so Trey wants to see me paint something else. Mundo's got a meeting at 2. Sabian? Oh, Abe Sapien? Yes, I have already done Abe Sapien. Give me 1 second. Actually, you know what? I can do this. Let's figure out. Nope, that's not what I want to do. So I've been doing YouTube shorts of all of the miniatures. I didn't paint Abe Sapien today. I painted him like a year ago. But for like the last week, I've been putting them up on shorts. So give me just a second and I will open up video. Nope, that's Johann Kraus. I swear I grabbed Abe Sapien. Or not, because I'm dumb. Yeah, he was the second one I did. Okay. Anyways, no, don't worry about being here late. Sorry, Mundo. It's a habit. I appreciate you, though. Don't worry about it. There we go. So here is Abe Sapien. Let me see. Just kind of like half of it. But I said early on, like I'm more about painting to get it done as opposed to like, display or, competition. I just want it to look good enough. This is another example of what I was talking about with the dark gray. Because I used the dark gray instead of black for his vest. And then just a light gray dry brush on top of it. So then when I hit it with that dark wash, it really popped out, in my opinion. So I really like it. One thing you can't see in this particular video, on his back, he's actually got a big BPRD logo. And so I just did a light dry brush on that. And so that pops off real well as also once I hit the wash on it. So worked really, really well. So, all right. So Mundo's, what are you going to do for the cloth on your Sisters of Battle, Mundo? Oh, come on. Let's be accurate here. Adeptus Sororitas. Sorry, had to do it. You're all welcome to make fun of me. Let's see here. Actually, let me. Where is that? All right, give me 1 second. Fuchsia working up from a purple base. Interesting. All right. Look at this. Changing stuff on the fly. Ha! There we go. Let's do that. All right. So I will also leave this up to the chat. Let's see. Oh, that's gonna be an interesting look. I'm excited to see that, Mundo. All right. Should I paint regular BattleTech or Mech Warrior scale BattleTech? Leave that up to you guys. So actually, I guess I should show you which ones, or what I mean. So that's Mech Warrior on the left and BattleTech on the right. All right, Mundo says I should go larger. All right. So first thing, I don't normally do this, but I'm going to do that this time. All right. I'm going to base it. I've already got it primed, but I'm going to base it black. So another amateur tip, craft paint. I don't recommend it just for like your regular painting, although I've seen it done. I am just not the guy to do it. But craft paint, like if you just want to layer on like a whole lot of paint, you don't need detail, like in this case, I want it black because there's a ton of detail that I can. As you can see, there's tons of detail I can work with on this, and so I really want those darker layers. So I'm going to. I just want to get this to a black layer. Don't gotta be careful. And keep in mind, there are people that paint way better than I do. They may have tips that actually work across the board, but this is stuff that works for me. And I think I'm going to just do a couple of steps on this. And then I might bounce. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. If I've got people watching and talking back, we'll play it by ear. My 18-year-old did just get home from work, so he's probably going to beg for the computer back. Let's see. So these figures, the MechWarrior figures, came out close to 20 years ago now. Actually, I think more than 20 years ago. But they've been, let's just say that they've moved at least twice. Probably more. And I have so many. And I want to learn Alpha Strike. And so I thought it would be fun to play Alpha Strike at 15 millimeter scale. So I got a bunch of these out. And I am just repainting them as well, I'm getting rid of the Chinese sweatshop paint jobs, to put it simply. Not that mine are much better, let's be honest. But for my Inner Sphere figures, I've decided for Davian Crucis Lancers. It's kind of a green. And the clans, I'm probably gonna do Jade Falcon, because I have a lot of Clan Wolf Beta Galaxy that I've painted for a friend of mine, and I don't want to paint more Beta Galaxy. So I wanted some green mechs. Actually, I can't do Jade Falcon because I'm already doing green. Crucis Lancers are green. I'm actually using this Reaper Adonis green. Where did my other brush go? No, that looks like it's it. Make sure your brush is mostly clean before licking it. Just gonna say. Did I use that in these green? Oh, it's right? Close enough for government work? All right, so how do I want to do? All right. I'm going to start with these legs. Give me 1 second. Let's see. Okay. There we go. Actually, let's refocus. All right. So my plan here. Let's put him in the holder. Paint these individual detail plates. See, look at that. Sometimes how to paint and also stream gets complicated. So that's why I did the base black first. Especially on this model, it was definitely a strategic choice because it has all these clearly defined panels. So I wanted to make sure that they were shown off. So I think that's going to look really good. I know. Riveting content. But somebody's here watching, so I hope you enjoy it. One nice thing about these little raised panels is they're very easy to see and fairly easy to just paint without making a mess of everything around them. All right. I think I'm going to go with like some italics in the knees and stuff. So this, it's actually kind of funny. This is sort of how I painted my first miniatures. My first miniatures were Battletech miniatures many, many, many years ago. And I would paint them black with my Tester's enamel paints. That's all I knew about. And then I would just find little highlight pieces. A little armor piece, a little panel. And I just painted them different color, yellow and green and blue and red. And I didn't know anything about painting. Then in 1998, my wife bought me 40K 3rd edition. And then I actually learned how to paint. Sort of. Because I wanted to play Space Marines. And I painted them black with yellow highlights. They were affectionately known in the area as the Bumblebees. Their actual chapter name was the Black Suns. Nobody ever cared when I corrected them, which is fine. Let's do this. I'm gonna paint this waist piece green. Because I want most of the model to actually be green. I don't want it to be black with green highlights. I want it to look like it's supposed to be green. Again, this is Davian Crucis Lancers. Is the color scheme I'm going to go for. So there'll be like a little red, white, and blue highlight. Once I figure out where to put it, that is. Now, normally 15 millimeter isn't this easy to paint when you're dealing with 40-foot tall robots. It's a lot easier. I actually have a bunch of the tanks and infantry as well. But for now, I'm just worried about battle mechs. If you're playing Battletech, why wouldn't you play with battle mechs? That's one thing that I was frustrated with about the MechWarrior click game, even though I have so very much of it, is the game wasn't about battle mechs. Yes, it was combined arms, but if you were taking more than one or two mechs, then you weren't going to do well. They cost a lot in terms of points. they had still worked in heat. So there were a lot of downsides to taking mechs that you didn't have with other units in the game. But it's a game about giant stompy robots. Why are you playing without giant stompy robots? I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if designers really do know their audience. But it did well for many years. Well, a decent number of years, that is. And looks like it's time for the drag racers. Not sure if you all could hear that. But overall, pretty good. Sorry, bad habit of getting the miniature out of screen. Apologize for that. But one nice thing about this repainting project is that the figures are posable. So I can at least get stuff out of the way. Okay, I think I'm gonna finish up with the torso here, and then come back later. All right, that I think is a great start to this figure. So at this point, it has been almost 3 hours, and my brain is starting to scream at me. Got to love ADHD. So thank you so much for watching. I hope if you were watching that you enjoyed it, or got some ideas, tips on what to do with your figures. But regardless, if you liked it, please do go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I would love to get to 1,000 by the end of the year. I don't think it'll happen, but we'll see. But regardless, I do appreciate your time, and thank you for watching. And we will see you all in the next video. Bye.